Habibis, settle in. Welcome. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Jay.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Siraj.
That's good. I like that. That was nice, deep Talibani. That's very good. I like that. Welcome, Habibis. It's another Habibi Power Hour. I'm your host, Siraj Hashmi.
And I'm your co-host, Mujahed Kobbe.
A.K.A. Jay. We are the Habibi Bros. We are technically 2/3 of the Habibi Bros. Yashar, if he wasn't such a bitch, would be a part of this, but he's too big for us, I guess. But whatever.
Right.
Anyways, how's your week been? You got some time. You got some R&R, right?
I got a couple days off Twitter, and took a couple days off. Went down to Oceanside, and just relaxed. Got a tan going, being more brown than white.
Hell yeah!
And then lost an AirPod along the way, but
I'm basically the before.
Yeah, and I'm the after.
All right. Well, let's get settled in. We'll start off with some jihad on tap, because while today wasn't insane, this past week was a little crazy. So, but first of all, let's talk about Joe Biden. The presumptive Democratic nominee on Wednesday called President Trump the country's first racist to be elected to the White House. He said this, it was like he said this in a virtual town hall by the Service Employees International Union after a healthcare worker expressed concern that Trump continues to blame Asians for the coronavirus pandemic, because Trump has been calling it the China virus. And it's, we'll get to more coronavirus talk in a little bit, but and how we're basically reliving the beginnings of coronavirus all over again, because now we're debating about whether to call it China virus versus Trump virus. But the whole assertion that Trump is the first racist to be elected president on its face is just insane, because essentially there were 12 American presidents who actually owned slaves. Now, unless they can prove that Trump owned slaves, which so far I haven't seen any evidence of, Trump is just your run-of-the-mill president who's divisive and probably maybe has animosity towards people that might not be orange.
You mean he might be a little racist? That's what you mean.
He might just be a little racist. It's just a tiny, but honestly, it's interesting when we talk about Trump being racist and the response to it, because you can like tell when someone is a flat out racist. But like Trump, everyone's been trying to ding him on like these dog whistles. He says something that's like, oh, this is a dog whistle to his white supremacist base, or like this is a dog whistle to be like he hates Jews. And it's just I can't call anymore. Like, I just don't know what's really in his heart to say one way or another that he is on his face a racist, and that like he has said things that are racially charged, and he said things that could be construed as straight up racist. I mean, like his Charlottesville response, for example, probably his worst thing. His Central Park 5 ad taking out, that was really bad too. And at the same time, I feel like he's such an opportunist that he's willing to just say whatever to like please his base at this juncture.
Right. Or to get attention and stuff. So, I mean, he does say things like you said that are racially charged. He might be, but I mean, it's the same thing like having, your uncle who's from Oklahoma that you go and have dinner with on Thanksgiving. It's not that they're meaning to be, bad people when they say these things, but they may have some sort of views that they could have a little bit more information on. But Trump is just the way he is. Like, it's not going to ever change. You you can't teach this old dog new tricks or anything like that at all. And I think some people feel that it is racist. Now, is it the most racist president that we've ever had? Is it the most racist person that's out there? Is it the most racist? Oh my God, it's killing 1 million black people type of stuff. I mean, this is not a Tom Cotton op-ed, but he does say some things that are a little bit dicey and can be pursued racist. And that's the thing. He gives this type of fuel to the other side willingly, and it's like an unforced error on his part. But to say that he's the most racist and that everything he does is racist and he's going to kill all these people, like it's
like he just doesn't. I mean, like Trump's so far, Trump's legacy doesn't even match like Woodrow Wilson, who screened Birth of a Nation, which is like a KKK sympathizing film at the White House, and he didn't resegregate the Trump didn't resegregate the army. I mean, that was Wilson. He also jailed journalists. That's more than Trump ever did. And he certainly didn't meet the legacy of FDR, who interned hundreds of thousands of Japanese Americans during the Second World War. And it's not even, it doesn't even meet like the Nixonian Southern strategy to try to, and you can even pin that against like Nixon's team on his campaign, to say that they were trying to use sort of racially divisive rhetoric to try to get, Southern white people who are racist against blacks to vote for the Republican Party based on the civil rights movement. So it's just too much at this point to say that, oh, he's the most racist president we ever had. Like you're saying these words, and then like at a point it just loses its meaning, and it's not really something that, like you can point to different policies of like separation of families in 2018 as like a racist policy, but that's more like that wasn't even his thing. That was mostly, if you want to pin it, most of the blame, it's on people like Stephen Miller. It's on people like the previous administration with the DHS under Obama, under Bush. They've had children in cages long before Trump, and all of a sudden, because he does this family separation,
a Republican.
Well, I mean, Bush obviously was a Republican too, but it's just, he was a good Republican, I guess. I don't know.
He's a good Republican now, but before that, they said that he didn't care about black people in Katrina.
That was Kanye West.
Yeah, and people ran with it, and they said that he was a racist like that. But Obama was deporting 3 million immigrants, putting kids in cages, all that kind of stuff. Not a whiff of him being racist. He killed Yemeni school children in buses and blew up weddings, and not a whiff of him being Islamophobic. Nothing.
Yeah. But the drone. I mean, Obama expanded the drone war quite a bit, and I think he didn't get enough criticism for that because, one, he was a Democrat, and two, all of his critics thought he was Muslim. So,
right. And I mean, we called him the old bomber in chief and stuff, but again, none of that came from mainstream media, and that's the thing.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Here's a fascinating story that was reported today in Variety. There is a Hillary Clinton alternate history series titled Rodham in development at Hulu. Now, if you remember, Hulu produced this Hillary documentary. I think it was just called Hillary, right?
That's what it was called. It was some garbage.
Okay. Did you ever watch it? I never watched it.
Fuck no! Like, I'm gonna waste my time on that shit.
Oh, I thought you like injected it straight into your butthole.
No, fuck that shit. I was too busy watching like My Little Pony.
Okay, so Hulu, they optioned the rights to Curtis Sittenfeld's alternate history book Rodham, which takes place in a world in which Hillary Rodham never married Bill Clinton. Okay. And the series is described as telling the story of an ambitious young woman developing her extraordinary mind in the latter part of the 20th century, moving from idealism to cynicism and all the way back again. I don't know, Jay. It sounds like some people just have a really tough pill to swallow in terms of accepting the 2016 election outcome, is it not?
Right. And then they have the same people are out here like whining, saying that Trump is gearing up to not accept the election results, just like they did in 2016. It's all fucking projection. That's all what it is with these fucking people. And then they're here fetishizing and fantasizing about what Hillary would have been. So basically, they're just saying that she's shit now. So this is what she would have been if her life went this way. That's how I'm getting it. And
just
honestly, there's so many more people out there that you can idolize who are leaders as women than fucking Hillary Clinton. Like, come on, she's one of the most evil fucking people out there.
Can I just say, I would love to see that series with like all the people that she allegedly had killed.
just living their lives like
like Vince Foster,
Seth Rice, like all these people
Seth Rich
that didn't kill themselves.
Like, just imagine, like, I would imagine Jeffrey Epstein probably would have never met Hillary if it weren't for Bill, right? Or will you think it's the other way around? Do you think Hillary knows Epstein better than Bill does?
I think Hillary is the type of person that goes and sucks on 9-year-old girls' blood. So, of course, I think Hillary got Bill Clinton into the fucking Epstein stuff. Not the other way around. Everyone wants to say that Bill Clinton is this like fucking sex hog and all this kind of shit. But, I mean, I think Hillary whipped him into some crazy shit.
Yo, you're so gonna get canceled for that.
Probably.
I was worried because you said sucking on 9-year-old, and then you said blood, and my blood pressure,
your heart was racing.
My heart was racing. I nearly fainted. That was going to be a really bad. We would never be able to escape that. But yeah, I think about how this constant infatuation with Hillary. Saying how she like, I don't know the contents of this book. I've never read it, obviously. I mean, who wants to read an alternate history of that? But at the same time, it would be fascinating to see where this eventually leads, whether she actually goes into politics, whether she actually becomes president, because ultimately the final goal, I can the logical conclusion of an alternate history is that Hillary becomes president. So it's just I'm wondering who you think is going to star as Hillary.
Who will star as Hillary? What's that? He's dead now, but that fat blonde guy.
Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Yes, thank you. That's who would play Hillary. But he's dead now, so like that would have been perfect. A little makeup on him and shit. It's done.
I would say, but young Hillary.
Who would play young? Owen Wilson.
Wow. And he raped you when you were 9? Wow. Oh my God. All right, moving on. FBI Director James Comey, former FBI Director, disgraced FBI Director, James Comey.
Disgraced, I like how you said it.
He's going to be
on that in that alternate universe with Hillary. He still would have been fired.
Probably. So he announced today he's going to be releasing his second book in January, shortly before Inauguration Day. And I'm just thinking of all the possible ways James Comey could fuck this election up. Like he's gonna have like an excerpt drop like in late October, being like, actually, Joe Biden, he hates black people. Like he attended Klan rallies.
I wouldn't be surprised. He's old enough.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. But it's just, I mean, he already said that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. So maybe he just
there
thought
you
his
go.
critics weren't black, regardless of whether they were black or not.
Right. I mean, he's just saying what the Dems think out loud, and the crazy left and radical left that's taking over. But to James Comey, I mean, to be honest, I don't think he did the damage that people want to attribute to him, to Hillary's campaign. I think that was all Hillary. Mm-hmm. And I think he tried to walk on eggshells as much as possible with that investigation. You know for a fact that she lied to them. You know for a fact that she lied to government agents about the emails, about what was deleted, about how they got rid of it, all that kind of stuff. And for example, Michael Flynn got into shit for worse. So they made it like it's unrecorded. They did all this kind of stuff to try and keep it as clean for her as possible. What you have to understand is that not even Satan looks worse than fucking Hillary Clinton. So it wasn't James Comey. And I think that's the issue with today's election, with Biden and Trump.
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, I mean, we talked about how we're reliving the beginning of coronavirus again, and now Trump brings back these coronavirus briefings, or these Rona rallies, if you want to call it that. Rona rally. This one today was pretty short, but he had a pretty long one on Tuesday. Say that again.
Was it 30 minutes today or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Pretty short. Short considering that he left himself exposed during all these coronavirus briefings, and just like would constantly answer questions, and kind of just like didn't help himself at all. So but the thing about today's particular Rona rally is that he announced plans to send a surge of federal law enforcement to Chicago. And this is happening in the midst of the Portland riots and protests that are happening. And while these agents are being sent to Chicago, you have Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot pushing back and saying that there's no way we're cooperating with them. In fact,
Trump's troops. She called them Trump troops.
Trump's troops, not even like federal officers.
Right.
But in the last couple of hours since that rally, that briefing, Trump and Lightfoot actually spoke over the phone, and Lightfoot released a statement saying the conversation was brief and straightforward. Mayor Lightfoot maintains that all resources will be investigatory in nature and be coordinated through the U.S. Attorney's Office. And the mayor has made clear that if there is any deviation from what has been announced, we will pursue all available legal options to protect Chicagoans. So basically, sitting on their hands doing fucking nothing.
Right, because she can't. What's going on in Chicago is atrocious, and she knows it. I think there was another audio that dropped as well, where she kind of admitted to where they're really thin in Chicago, especially in investigating murders, shootings, and keeping the gang violence under control. I mean, when she tweeted that thing about how they're not going to have Trump's troops come into Chicago, there was a shooting at a funeral where like 14 people or 16 people were shot, and like they're in the hospital.
Yeah, 14 people died, I thought.
Or died even.
Yeah.
One or the other, either shot and in the hospital, or they actually died. But it just goes to show that there is a lot of fucking help that is needed in Chicago. They need help. And the best thing, when she had another briefing, she was talking about how Trump is only talking about wanting to put troops in where the mayors are women, and it's like, well, Ted Wheeler is probably a woman at this point, anyways. I mean,
Portland is weird. Yeah, consider Ted Wheeler a woman. Another interesting point, though, and this is just the daily tit for tat that we see happening in the U.S. you had Lori Lightfoot call your favorite press secretary. What's her name again?
McCain. And she
Kayleigh McEnany. She called her Karen. She called her a Karen. She tweeted out an image, a screenshot of a tweet by Brian Bennett, in which he writes, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany just called Lori Lightfoot, quote unquote, the derelict, derelict my balls?
derelict.
The derelict mayor of Chicago, and said she should request federal help to secure the city. And Lori Lightfoot said, hey, Karen, watch your mouth. And I think that's kind of interesting that Lightfoot has gotten so much flack for how she's run the city so far, even on coronavirus, that well, there was a story, I think, remembering during the lockdown, in which she shut down everything, but then went out to go to her hair salon or nail salon. I can't remember exactly.
It was one or the other, some stupid shit.
Yeah. It was something like that. And it was just like, it was just, you know, this type of beef is like just so unnecessary. And it just shows you that we are governed by some really unserious people on both sides of the aisle. And I mean, like, we're run by a nation. We're a nation run by children.
100%. I mean,
essentially.
Look at essentially. God damn it.
Yeah, let me open mine.
Get it. No, but no, you're right. It's really it's scary how petty these fucks are that are running these cities, that are running our government, that are in these places of power, governing states and all that kind of stuff. And to see somebody like Lightfoot, I mean, it's a meme at this point about how many people died over the weekend in Chicago. They have people that blast that kind of stuff on Twitter. Like Breaking 911 does it, and then you have the Chicago Tribune that does it every other weekend and stuff. It's like that's the norm now.
Yeah.
It's, you know what? Suck it up. Take a little fucking humility and take that help, because don't be above taking help to save these people's lives. I mean, there are kids that are getting shot in the fucking playgrounds and stuff. Yeah. There was a report about a family, a mother who lost 3 kids over the course of like 20 years. She lost all of her children in Chicago. It's at this point, it's like I'd rather walk down Afghanistan than walk through Southside Chicago. Honestly, I mean, I can speak Arabic.
I mean, one thing that's I don't want to fail to mention this, but it's just we'll probably talk a little bit more when we talk about Portland coming up in a little bit. But this whole effort to, you know, focus on Chicago, and Trump's press briefing or his Rona rally, he was I think he answered a question from Caitlin Collins from CNN about how Trump blamed Obama for the disaster of Chicago, and it's that he's not taking any blame. He's blaming, you know, Mayor Lightfoot. And I think it is important to recognize that the buck ultimately does stop with the president, and we do run in the federalist system. And I think it's the failure of both President Trump and Mayor Lightfoot that the situation in Chicago has not improved whatsoever. And we know that Chicago has not been a safe place for some time, whether it was under the Obama administration, whether it was under the Bush administration. And, you know, this discussion about sending in the feds, I feel like in some ways Trump is trying to use this, not so much from a political standpoint, but almost as like you know, he's trying to make up for what he didn't do in the immediate aftermath of all the George Floyd riots, or the riots that happened in the wake of George Floyd's death, I should say, because There were a lot of peaceful protests, but again, there was rioting and looting throughout the country. And I mean, how many cities were experiencing this? I mean, it's like you can't count it.
You can't count them. There was
you can't count on one or two hands. Yeah, take that drink.
I got to. No, but you're right. And I think there's sometimes where if the president is offering help, you take it. Because at the end of the day, if you're not taking the help, then it gives fuel to the other side to say, look, they reached out and you said to go fuck off, for example. I mean, if you look at Minneapolis, for instance, they're asking for like $500 million to help the riots that the media said never happened.
Didn't Trump turn them down, though?
I think so. But,
yeah.
I mean,
like...
I would have turned them down, to be honest. If they're going to allow
I mean, like...
He said, I'll send in the troops and all that kind of stuff, and they said no. And they allowed... they took the police out. They allowed the riots to happen. They allowed the burning down to happen and stuff. And I don't know.
Yeah, gotta investigate that a little bit more.
But you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the president could, if he reached out an olive branch and stuff like that, it would have looked good on him. But it's just not his nature. It's not his character. And
no, I know it's not his character, but I'm just saying, like, it's hard for him to sort of stand on this moral high ground and say, you know, I came and offered these cities help, but like you turned down Minneapolis when they wanted federal help. So it's just, I don't know. It's all stupid.
Anyways,
all a
game. It's all a game.
It is all a game, but like this is the point where politics isn't really a game, because you know I've covered this stuff for a few years, and yeah, I can see that, you know, in many ways the rhetoric that is hurled back and forth, it's very sports like, but you know, you're messing with people's lives here, and that's where a lot of people take offense when you say politics is a game, because in times like these, specifically the social unrest, you really are playing with people's lives and their livelihoods, because you obviously, you know, think of the people obviously who were killed by law enforcement, people who were killed by rioters, people who were you know, they lose their business or their entire savings because, you know, social unrest just spilled over. And it's unfortunate and sad. And while we try to keep this lighthearted, I mean, we obviously have to deal with the reality that not everything is just rosy. Right. And with that being said, let's hear from some Habibis before we go on.
Rob's here, by the way.
Who?
Scroll up. Rob. Hillbilly.
Holy shit, really? Rob. Where you at? Where are you at, though?
Rob, you're going to see him. He's
shit.
Drinking too.
Look at him. Drunk Jay is the best Jay. I agree. Cheers to that.
I'm sipping on a 12-year-old girl named Jane.
Yeah. Kate chiming in. she missed Kate Hyde chiming in. Well, Jay, I didn't recognize you next to that new mic. How long have you had that mic?
This one since the beginning, but it's always been out of focus. I mean, out of frame.
Joseph Connor McAuliffe says Drunk Jay is the only Jay. I don't know if you can't really dispute that. Let's see. It looks like Jay has a halo around his head. That's Mickey White.
Saint Mujahideen.
Mujahideen. Let's see. We got some. Oh, okay. So a few Habibis have remarked. So yeah, this is a new setup. I had to ditch. I literally just flipped the camera to the other side. This is the other side of the room. I don't know why I didn't do it.
I had it the whole time.
I had it the whole time, and I just never decided to do. I just never decided to do it like this. So.
Oh, that's too good.
Couple things. So this is an Ernie plate that, yes, I did make. I showed it to him. I have. Let me pull up the photo. I'll show it to the Habibis right now.
You Americans and your fucking dogs, man.
Oh, you shut the fuck up, okay? He is the light of my life, not named Emily.
And Janice, this was made in 2018. That's why I was saying 12 years. Yeah, it's aged 10 years, but it wasn't bought since 2018.
Interesting. So here, I'm gonna just swipe through this so you guys can see. So there's Ernie seeing the that for the first time, sniffing it.
Oh, there you go.
And looking at me so disappointed. Yeah. So
that's the great thing about Ern is that he always looks disappointed.
Always looks disappointed. So that's that. But also, and that's one of the Easter eggs. The other one is I got this in the mail. If you notice that, what does that stand for?
Habibi Bros.
Hell yeah! So you Habibis know there's merch on the way. Eventually, we'll figure. We're still figuring it out.
Yeah, we're trying to get it 100% right.
Yeah, essentially. So let's see. So Finley asks again if that plate is for sale. That is not. That is something I made for my wife and for Ernie and
for your wife. That's so great. Hey, happy anniversary. I love you so much. Here's a picture of Ern.
Actually, we went like to a pottery place where you can paint your own pottery for her birthday. So this was my gift to her. So
you're such a gay insult lib.
Shut the fuck up, Jay. All right. So, all right, let's get into some weekly jihad because first of all, shout out and we want to pay at least a little bit of tribute to John Lewis, who passed away this past week at the age of 80. He was in hospice care. And you can't really put into words the type of impact a man like that had on our society. He marched with Dr. Martin Luther King in Selma. If you do that if you march on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, there's really nothing bad you can say about that person, really.
Right.
So the only reason we bring this up is to highlight the horrible, horrible tributes that people paid to John Lewis. And so bad that I had to put at least 4 people on the list for their horrible tributes. First one, and I'm going to pull this up to see if people can see it. You have Linda Sarsour starting off this image. I don't know if hopefully the Habibis will be able to see it. Let me pull it up on here. I can't do it like that.
You can screen share. I was like, what does
I'm gonna screen share right now. Wow. God, I suck.
I was waiting for you to screen share it and stuff, and things like you're bringing your laptop up to the fucking
screen. I feel like such a boomer right now. You know what? Shut up, Jay. That's ageist.
I apologize. I am sorry.
You should be.
Are you younger than I am? How old are you? Like 35?
I'm 32.
Oh, damn.
How old are you?
32.
We're the same age, and I'm more boomer than you. All right, I'm pulling this up right now. Just give it a sec. All right, let's screen share this bad boy.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Where is it? Chrome tab. Boom. All right. Let's hope the Habibis can see this.
It's so fucking good.
It's so stupid. God. All right, let's see if I can zoom in a little. All right. Okay. So you got this Instagram post from Linda Sarsour, and her caption reads, "Tonight is a sad night. One of the greatest honors of my life was to be arrested alongside you in solidarity with our undocumented communities. I promise to keep making good trouble just like you taught us. Rest in power, Congressman John Lewis." So looking at that shit, she makes it about her, and she was getting roasted pretty much by everyone, I think, but not enough because she didn't post it on Twitter. She was
Yeah.
At least smart enough to not put it on Twitter.
Right.
Because if she did, she'd get absolutely flamed.
Fucking hell. It's insane. Like how are you going as a person who advocates to make sure that all Jews are either destroyed or murdered off of Israel? Compare yourself to somebody like John Lewis. I can't fucking understand it. And
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. She's one of the most horrible people that is out there that is now a staple name for American Muslims. And I think it gives it such a fucking horrible stigma to have somebody like her who is a stereotypical Jew hater on there. And I'm sorry. I fucking hate this bitch.
It's okay, Habibi. I understand. I'm not a huge fan either. But I will say it is infuriating when people sort of put her on this pedestal. Next up, we got Marco Rubio with arguably one of the worst posts about John Lewis, because if you look closely at this photo, let's zoom in. That's not even John Lewis. Can you see that?
I can. We can see it pretty well.
That's Elijah Cummings, who also unfortunately passed away within the last year. And it's not even just the photo, it's also the profile photo.
I'm sorry, like this is horrible. I don't mean to laugh like that, but it's so
bad. And then like he tries to, like, you know, pick it back up and say he tweeted an incorrect photo.
Well, I mean, and even Elijah Cummings' wife and stuff said like it happens and all this kind of stuff, and it does, but it is worthy of the list because you have to like double check, like you have to make 100% fucking sure that this doesn't happen. I mean, I get confused with Osama bin Laden every time I go to the airport. And you don't hear me complaining. Like it fucking happens. it does.
I didn't realize you get confused. Is it because of the turban you wear to the airport?
Oh, I make sure to wear the turban. I put a mask on, the whole thing.
Or is it the huge stack? Or is it the huge stack of new magazines that you bring with you to the airport?
It's one or the other. I just make sure I do everything personally, like I can, to get randomly searched.
You're too much, man. You're too much. There were a couple of other ones that I would highlight, but yeah, I think we got the point. There were some really bad posts about.
There have been.
There were some bad ones. So, with that being said, you know what, Jay, it's getting kind of chilly in here. I'll be right back. Hold on one second.
Bean Dude, here's a few bucks for Ern's campaign to get elected. You know he'd do it 100%. He would get Siraj out of here like in a heartbeat. Fail? Yes, I do. I do enjoy those cavity searches. How do you feel about the very important issue of who is that?
Okay, we're good.
You know what's funny about that, Sarah, is that if he's Lebanese, my dad probably pointed it out, but I'm not sure. No,
all right. What's happening, Habibis? I'm back. Bean Dude.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, what's up?
Did it get a little too cold? You got to get that flaming tan suit on. There you go.
So good. So nice and warm. Thank you, Nate Beebe. Sarah Jacobs. You already met. Wait, Tony Shalhoub. Oh, yeah. If we had a baby.
I don't know what happened.
What?
The funny thing is that I didn't know who that was until I brought the picture up. And my dad likes to, because he's Lebanese, he always comes up to me. He's like, did you know this famous person is Lebanese? Did you know this? And he brought up Tony Shalhoub to me. And he's like, did you know this person was Lebanese?
I did know Tony Shalhoub was Lebanese, but he does do a really good job as passing off as like a New York Jew, because that's like all his roles.
Right. No, especially in Men in Black, the first one. When he was the pawn shop guy. It's like it was too good.
So good. So the reason, on top of being cold, it's also this week I was honored in two different ways. One, Biden made the comments that Islam should be taught more in our schools, and Cocaine Mitch showed up to the White House Oval Office wearing a very fine, polished tan suit. Oh God, this
God, with the black shoes.
I mean, it got me weak in the knees. It's just,
it does.
Mitch, what you doing to me?
That's how you get your Amish to bend over. You just wear a fucking tan suit, tanned anything, you're gonna get them. Especially if you're wearing tan short shorts.
You drop the incel from the gay incel live once you wear a tan suit. But I did find what was really funny about Biden saying we need Islam to be taught more in our schools is how some on the right were like, oh shit, like it's the Sharia is coming. And I'm like, hell yeah, it is.
Yeah. Just get ready for it, bitches. You can't stop this. This train is going to come ramming through your mother's asses. I mean, it's going to come in and teach you the right way to live your lives.
Oh my God.
No, it's so funny. No, to be 100% clear.
Essentially 100% clear.
God damn it, bro. I think it's a totally okay thing for more Islam to be taught in schools and stuff like that. I mean, it's the second biggest religion, all this kind of stuff. But you can tell I was about to say it.
Just fucking say it.
No, not right now. You can tell that he is essentially pandering to fucking like the American Arab community or Arabs or Islam in general. And it's so laughable to me. It's so laughable to me that the same people that will shit on like Catholicism or Christianity or anything like that will prop up Islam and religion in that way. It's just that, you know what, man, just slow your roll. All right. We don't need pandering to. It's totally okay. We are fine. We're just shut the fuck up, you old shit face. But I mean, that's just the way that I feel about it, because you can see that the same people will say that religion and Jesus and God and all this kind of stuff is like not for you and it's not in your life and all this stuff. And then they'll be like, you know what? Allah needs to be taught. Allah needs to be this. Allah Muhammad and blah, blah, blah. It's like, pick your lane.
I mean,
what the fuck are you talking about? It's all the same shit. Allah is God. Jesus is Isaac. Like, it's all the same. Isaiah. It's all the same shit. Like, pick your fucking lane. Don't be this way because you think all Catholics are white when like the minority of people are the most religious in this country. It's it gets me going. I'm almost fucking drunk as fuck right now.
I remember when my niece was, shortly after my niece was born back in like 2014, she was the very first like next generation of my siblings. She was the first one to pop out, and I know it's a very like grotesque way of saying that, but like she was the first one. She was the first one born, and my mom was talking about how she needs to like be going to an Islamic school, and I'm just like, and all it means to protect her because she was worried about like the stigma that's around Muslims. I'm like, no, if anything, teaching her at an Islamic school is probably worse for her, because the real life, her ass is going to get handed to her because she won't be ready to how to handle any of that shit. I feel like if you are in a if you are in a classroom with people of all different backgrounds, you learn a lot about their backgrounds, and you also get to share what makes you unique. And I mean, it's worked for both of us. It's like one of the best ways to assimilate in this country is you send your kids to public school. You can send them to private school, but like you may not get obviously depends on where you live. And I think there's just like, you are never going to be able to 100% protect your kids from like being bullied. Like I was bullied quite a bit,
100%,
essentially 100%. And it's just like, all of these experiences, they are designed to like make you a stronger, more complete person. And trying to be a helicopter parent around your kids is just it does a disservice to them. And I think if you want, when it comes to teaching religions in school, all it is just to inform them better about like world religions. It's not to get them to obviously convert, which is the goal. But you know what I mean.
Right. And like, to be clear, I was raised in the UAE. I was born in Oklahoma until I was about 10, homeschooled while I was in Oklahoma. And then in the UAE, I was in school. And I think the way that it is here in the United States is so much more accepting to other things and other religions and other thoughts than it is overseas. It's amazing to me that they want to say that all evil stems from America, and America, you're so racist and all this kind of stuff. It's like spend 20 years in the UAE or in Lebanon and stuff like that, or even in Mexico for that matter, and you will see like how they even hate on people who are their own skin color, how they hate on people who are other Arabs and stuff, how they hate on people who are Christian, who are Jews. Like I was raised to think that all evils was based on Jews, and the reason why is because I was in Islamic schools. I was in Quranic lessons and all these things. Not to say that they're bad, do that, but you need to not close your children to all that stuff. And I think giving more Islam in school will help people become more accepting to people who believe other things. And Muslims coming here and becoming assimilated are more accepting to Christianity and Jews and stuff like that as well. America is a wonderful place, man. America is so fucking great. And
it's wonderful. I mean, I think in at least the last 20 years, like, say what you want about like our government, but like just living here, just being able to do what you want and like not be judged or, become a social outcast. Like it was a foreign concept until, it was something that may have been practiced in, parts of the Muslim world. Now people are being social outcasts for their politics, which is crazy. And that's just like that's a completely different discussion. That's the whole cancel culture that we've been talking about over the last, few years.
Right.
But I mean, if you really want to have your children be religious, and there's no one size fits all answer, you just got to be there for them and just teach them the ropes. I mean, my dad is really religious. My mom is kind of religious, but I don't really find myself to be too religious. I'm just like, and it's not so much that I push back. It's just like there's just too much. I just, it's tough. It's tough to like commit yourself to like praying 5 times a day. It's like I could do Ramadan and I did it very well this year, but like, keeping up with it for, some people it's like second nature. For me, it's not. So it's just a matter of like your personality, I think. So
right. I mean, with my dad too, he was like raised to pray 5 times a day. He wakes up for Fajr, he does all that kind of stuff. Like my dad, like yours, he migrated over here. So he was born in Lebanon and he came over here. My mom is from Arkansas, and she's white. And I think being that mix helped me not be too conservative on the religious side.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, my mom is she's still Muslim. She had her new husband convert to Islam as well.
Oh wow!
And she really believes in Allah and the submission, all that kind of stuff. I'm on a different,
plane.
Wavelength. Yeah,
you're spiritual.
Sure.
Which means you're lazy as fuck.
Oh, bro! Whoa! I wake up. Sorry, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to eat that mom's ass. Okay, so let's not that lazy.
Oh my god! All right, I think it's time we go get the urn. I'll be right back.
Get that urn. And while he's getting urn, I finished this bottle tonight. It is the Whittle Jane, aged 10 years, but 12 actual because it was bottled in 2018. And I have to say, honestly, for the price point, it's pretty smooth. You get a really good flavor to it. And they say, they put all this kind of like pure limestone mineral water and all this bullshit into it. Let's just say it gets you fucked up, and you don't really need to chase it with anything. You can just drink it straight. Works really well. For the price point, it's here in California, it's $45, and yeah, it's not a bad one to have on your shelf. I would rate it 7.5. Definitely, I'll probably get it again too if it doesn't have Angels Envy anywhere. I'll probably get that. So it's a pretty good one. Start pronouncing names, any names. Osama bin Laden, Muhammad, Ahmed, Ibrahim, Khalid, Khalifa, Rami. Hey, Caroline, I am not slurring anything. I am speaking clearly and proficiently. Cox, it's Taper. It's fucking Taper. His name is Taper. Yes, he does, Jack. Siraj does drink. He drinks a couple of beers here and there. To be honest, I didn't drink until I was like 20 years old. I was really like conservative. I went to every Quran class, all that kind of stuff.
Here he is. The man, Urn. The man, the myth, the legend, the Urn.
There he is. Look at him.
Took a little bit of time finding him, but we got him. We got him. Hey, buddy.
He's angelic. Look at him.
Look at him.
Holy shit.
Tan suit wearing a tan, just a couple tan suit wearing libs right here.
100%.
Essentially. Okay. All right. Here's what we really wanted to talk about, because we never really got into talking about Portland, and there's a lot of shit going on there. So let's try to parse through what's happening. So there have been a lot of protests happening in Portland. It's been like 50 days of protests. That's oftentimes spilled into straight up riots with vandalism, violence, graffiti, and even statue toppling. And President Donald Trump had directed federal agencies to deploy officers in cities, including Portland, Oregon. And at least some of those agents used unmarked vehicles during the security initiative. And they are calling these particular raids secret police kidnappings. So I'm looking at Snopes here, okay? Snopes, who the website that oftentimes they are probably pretty left leaning on their fact checks, but they basically like had a fact check in which it was a mixture. Okay, so they say the use of the word kidnapping alleges that federal agents had committed a crime. However, no court or judge had said that was the case as of this writing. In at least one case, federal officials said they put someone in an unmarked van for questioning because they believed that person had committed a crime. And then they say what's undetermined is that while one person said he was detained without officers identifying themselves, and another viral video was interpreted by viewers as a case of the same thing, we have no verifiable evidence to prove or disprove whether agents in those cases explained for what federal agency they worked during the arrests. Okay, so there's a lot of shit going on in Portland, and we're not 100% sure. We're essentially not 100% sure what's going on because, yeah, let me get a little drink. Ernie, you want something to drink? Want some Sunkist? No?
Do it. No. He's like, I'm not a little bitch. Give me some shit.
No, he's not. Oh, I see we got some super chats. Earn 2020 super pack. Hell from JJ Seiler. Thank you, JJ. Alex B. Talk about the lady. You know the one.
Ted Wheeler?
It's the mayor of Portland.
Who?
Ghislaine. Thank you, Mary. Billy Finn. Oh, it comes through. The idea that this is the Gestapo or secret police is unbelievably insane, legitimately wacky, offensive. This is all perfectly constitutional. So here's the thing. This is all based on Trump's executive orders to sort of protect federal property, to protect statues, and there has been talk about the constitutionality of this. I'm seeing from Carrie Cordero, who is a legal expert in. She writes this in the Bulwark. Now, if you want to take the Bulwark for.
Fuck that shit, man. These are all Twitter lawyers and shit.
Yeah, they're probably Twitter lawyers.
It's so look, the only person I believe in Twitter lawyer world is Carolina Court. That's it.
Caroline Court. Where you at, Caroline?
Carolina
LB,
Court.
Where you at? She's not going to sign.
No, but go ahead. What were you saying?
Anyways, I was just going to say that they have been people talking about how this is unconstitutional and that states should have, a say in the matter over their own policing, and that the president and the federal government and the executive branch should respect that boundary and not intrude to sort of take matters into their own hands. I only bring up the Bulwark because I'm interested to see exactly what essentially right-leaning 100%. Trump critics have to say about it, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of conservative thought on this in defense of what's going on. So I figured we at least we would hash it out to talk about exactly what's going on. I will say this, and this is kind of funny because this is right up Jay's alley, are these moms who've shown up in Portland. And Jay, you know what I'm talking about, the moms. Oh yeah. So these moms who've shown up in Portland, they've formed a wall.
Ass war right over here.
Anyways, I really have a hard time believing sort of the outrage over Portland. I think there is something really shady going on, and I can't really pinpoint exactly where that is. I mean, maybe it's maybe it lies on the protests and how they may be organized in a way that's meant to sow discord and disruption and social upheaval, or maybe the Department of Homeland Security is operating outside of the confines of the law. I can't really tell.
Well, the main thing is that what's going on in Portland, it is happening. There's riots. They want to burn down buildings. They're doing all this kind of stuff, and nobody wants to report on it. Like you have in New York Times reporters coming up and reporting that, oh, these are moms. Oh, this is just like a sweet protest. Blah, blah, blah. And it's not. That's not the case. And that's the reason why he put this order in, is to protect the federal buildings.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's I mean, like, that's lawful. I mean, they are. I haven't seen anything.
100 fucking.
I haven't seen anything from what I've seen of the footage that screams to me these officers or these law enforcement officials are in the wrong. Like they are. I haven't seen a single thing.
There's none.
Like you can criticize what the government is doing. I think there's a part of me that thinks that Trump is doing this in sort of like a what was it? Was it 1968? Was Nixon? I'm trying to think of when was Nixon. Nixon got elected in 1968, and there were you had the MLK assassination riots. That was the Holy Week uprising. That was. People were comparing the rioting after George Floyd's death to 68. And this, I don't even know what they're supposedly protesting. And a lot of the violence happening is not protests. Obviously, they're looting and rioting in a lot of these different streets. It may not be the entire city, but there's certainly an effort by some in the media to sort of, put a blackout and not cover this in a way that's honest and truthful. They just want to push out their narrative and blame it all on Trump.
Right. And I don't know if this is the actual Seth Miller or anything like Red Steezy or whatever.
Stephen Miller?
Stephen? Is this? I don't know. But what I want to
Stephen Miller.
Yeah. What I want to say is they don't report on it on purpose, and then they wait until people like Andy Nagaro report on it, and then be like, it's just extreme right wing whatever reporting on this shit.
Yeah,
and that's not the case. That isn't what's happening. Andy Nagaro is like, whatever you want to say about him, and he has a lot of controversy around him. He is reporting on these things. It's not just fucking mothers just being like, oh, we want to protect our kids. That's not what it is. And the New York Times has to be fucking shamed to the extent that they are exposed for what they are. They made sure that Barry Weiss and the editor was the other editor, I forgot what his name was, pushed out.
James Bennett.
Yes, on purpose. So they can have these left-wing fucking ideologies into their opinion pages and into news. And it's sickening. It's fucking sickening. People are getting fucking fed up with this shit.
Yeah.
Journalism and news and cable news and these fucking Washington Post pieces of shit, New York Times, whatever. It's just, they're exposed for what they are. Fucking frauds. That's it. There is no integrity within journalism anymore. It's out of here. It's fucking disgusting.
Billy Finn chimes in. Thank you, Billy, for pitching in. Here he writes, there's a clash between the 10th Amendment here and the federal government's power to suppress insurrection, but that's in Fed 9, and that's in the Constitution. It's also Fed property legal. Andrew Maloney chimes in. Andy Ostroy tweeting police video from Serbia, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I saw that. He was getting like so many retweets and likes out of that. And sorry, Aaron, I'm just trying to get in here, okay? Trying to make my point. Andy was like, oh, well, like it was in Serbia, but it could happen here. Like, yeah, he was trying to make parse the argument and saying like it's indistinguishable from what's going on here. Like, you're tweeting out fucking fake news. Tweet out something that's legitimate that can actually be criticized here. It's just it's mind numbing. And then you
It
have
really
the shit.
is. It really
Yeah.
is because they really want to believe. They're so desperate that Trump is some fucking dictator that is out here to steal all your rights, to throw gays in jail, to do all of this kind of stuff that's never come into fruition. It never happened. And they're so desperate for this shit. I mean, showcase police brutality, showcase police overstep. That's fine. Why are you lying? If shit is so fucking bad as you're saying, why do you have to fucking lie about it?
Yeah.
They have to lie because it's not.
Another thing that happened, did you see this naked Athena?
Oh my God. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, of course you did.
Of course I did. And Fuzzy, I think it was Fuzzy that did a meme with my face like going after it, and I was like, 5-second rule. You can still eat that ass. I mean, it's 5 seconds.
Okay, so like it's kind of crazy how she's gotten portrayed by the media. They've made comparisons. At least the Los Angeles Times has compared her to Tank Man, who infamously, or famously, because infamously has a negative connotation, he famously stood in front of a row of tanks that had just were returning from massacring protesters in Tiananmen Square in 1989. And we don't know the fate of that individual. Only the Chinese Communist Party knows who that individual was and knows the fate of that individual. And you have this naked Athena essentially splaying,
100%.
essentially showing her clam to the police. I mean, it's just it like why would you do? Jay, would you ever put your balls on the pavement?
I put it in
your bare
places.
Balls.
I put it in Bruce's mom's. So like I put it in worse places, bro. Like let's not even go there. But what's so funny about that? What's so funny about that is that how these fucking pieces of shit who want to call themselves journalists, especially the person that LA Times, who wants to compare this person to Tank Man. Like that person is probably home right now, like having a great time. Tank Man is dead. He was run over by tanks. You can't compare these fucking people to each other. You can't. You cannot compare China, what's happening in China, especially with the Jaeger Muslims, to anything that's here in the United States. They are so desperate to pretend like there are some fucking heroes that are against some oppressive regime that they will do this. They will turn their reputations into absolute fucking garbage to pretend like they're doing something. It's mind-boggling to me. Why would a journalist do that? It doesn't make sense.
For one, it's pronounced Uyghur Muslims, not Jaeger. They're not a drink.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta finish that right now. Finish that shit.
It's done.
No, finish your glass. You piece of shit. These are people who are dying right now. God damn it, Jay. Oh man.
I apologize.
That would be so much.
Sorry.
It would be so much more. It would be exceedingly funnier if it weren't so fucking sad.
No, really. I mean, what's happening to them, honestly, is on the scale of the Holocaust. I am going to say that. I really am. When you saw that drone video of people on their knees with their heads shaved, getting ready to be put onto fucking train carts, it is so fucking. It's so hard. I mean, how are we allowing this to happen? How?
I have no fucking clue.
It's so bad. It really is. Like, these are people's fathers, mothers, daughters like that are all head shaven, ready to go to sew in a fucking Nike shoe or some fucking shit. Like, I'm look. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Josh Holloway or whatever his name is, a Republican senator who is putting into place legislation asking American corporations if they are going to stop slave labor, because that's the only way we can hit China. That's it. We have to stop this stuff. Like, it has to stop. It really does. And it's so heartbreaking because they want to come in here and protect China, call it the Trump virus and all this kind of stuff while they're doing what they're doing. And it's heartbreaking. It's fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah. For one, it's pronounced Holly.
Thank you.
I do like how you pronounce it though. That's pretty good. But seriously, fuck the Chinese Communist Party. I don't get to say this online because I will probably get fired. But fuck them. They're pieces of shit, and they have no respect for human life and human rights or human decency. All they care about is power and dominating the world. And when you see that type of footage coming out of China, you probably mentioned it already, but it's hard to not be reminded of the Holocaust, which is only a generation or two removed from us. And at one point, you have to ask yourself, if we constantly say never forget every single Holocaust Memorial Day, and yet we see this shit happen again and again in a place halfway around the world that has one, most Americans probably don't know about, and two, don't even realize the impact that, a place like China has on their life, considering how many products they deal with. I mean, these fucking phones, the computer, the iPads, like the clothes I'm wearing, all of this shit is made in China. Right. And there's nothing we can do about it. Like, how do you protest China effectively if you don't return a lot of these supply chains back to the United States and make it so that everything is made here? If anything, you export this shit to places like China if they want to be a part of a trade relationship with us. But no, they're holding us hostage on everything trade related, on even militarily speaking. They're building islands in the South China Sea. They have I'm going to say it, they have essentially ended the semi-autonomy, the whatever autonomy Hong Kong had, is ruining their commerce and their economy as a result. And people are being thrown in prison for simply peacefully protesting. And then you have people in
it's sick. It's fucking sick.
Yeah. It's just, and the Uyghur stuff, these are people that are simply being persecuted for their Muslim faith. And we don't even count the political dissidents because those are countless. We have no idea how many are currently being detained or have been killed. And it's too much. I mean, I actually, for hashing it out this week, I interviewed Senator Martha McSally from Arizona. She's in a pretty tough re-election against Mark Kelly. I honestly, she's like 9 points down. It's not looking good for her. But this week, she dropped a piece of legislation that would allow American citizens to bring up federal lawsuits against the Chinese Communist Party for their handling and cover-up of coronavirus and the outbreak and the pandemic. That we'll see what happens with that. But when I was talking to her about it, it doesn't sound like, the United States getting into a military conflict or military escalation with China is going to happen on the horizon. But that seems to be something that I'm sure a lot of people think of, because the only way to stop the Nazis was to fucking kill them. So
right. But honestly, like I'm there also with her and with politicians who don't think that military action is right. And I'm there. I'm right there with them.
I don't want to go to
Because I
war
think
either. I think war is
military,
awful. It's the
right,
worst thing ever.
especially with the nuclear power. But I think sanctions will work. I think
I'm hoping they work.
fucking like Nike, like the NBA, all these fucking people who are getting on their knees, sucking that commie dick would stop that.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. Like, even our fucking, like, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and all this kind of stuff calling it the Trump virus, you're helping China. You're helping them. And you're continuing this fucking thing, allowing them to do what they're doing with the Uyghur Muslims.
Yeah.
We need to hit them where it hurts, and that's their fucking money.
Yeah.
And you see this, like the NBA, they're bitches. They are fucking bitches. Mark Cuban
I was just gonna
is a bitch. Bitch.
Wait, who?
Mark Cuban.
Yeah, I was literally just about to bring him up. So he went he was number 1 on the list this week. And I saw a Habibi comment.
100% needs to be 100, like number 1.
He actually beat out the Chinese spokesperson Wang Wenbin, which takes some fucking balls because I was on the fence on this. I was like, all right, how, Chinese spokesperson versus Mark Cuban. Obviously China's worse, but like the list is designed to save people from themselves. And I don't really think there's any way of saving the Chinese Communist Party. They need to be dismantled and destroyed. But Mark Cuban is salvageable. This is what he wrote on Twitter in a little bit of an exchange with Ted Cruz, which made him look way worse. He wrote, quote, actually, you know what? I'm gonna pull this shit up. I'm gonna pull it up, baby.
You can. You know
I
how
forgot.
to do it.
I forgot. Oh my god, I forgot about screen share. This is my boomer moment. Let's do it. Screen share time, baby. Chrome tab. Mark Cuban's bitch ass. Let's go. All right. This is what he says. Can you all see it? I hope you can see it. Let's zoom in on that little baby. If you think I won't criticize China and what they do as it concerns American citizens, watch this. Here's a YouTube channel or YouTube video you can watch. In this movie, I'm like, no one's ever going to watch a fucking movie, but I have never gotten involved in the domestic policies of any foreign country. We have too much to do here.
Fuck
okay.
You. Fuck
that
you.
Is.
Fuck. I'm sorry. Like, it gets me so angry when they say that there's so much to do here that we have to ignore millions of like fucking people being put in camps to go over to go die. Like,
no, it's infuriating because it's the biggest cop out ever. And I wrote on Twitter, not getting involved in the domestic policies of any foreign country when the particular country in question has a domestic policy of systemic genocide of over 1 million people based on their faith is one of the biggest cop-outs. And Cuban should truly be ashamed for posting something like that. I mean, like, this is it may not be the Holocaust, but it is a Holocaust that's happening over there. It is the systemic and state-sponsored genocide of a group of people based on their ethnicity and on their religion. That is as close to a genocide as you can get, whether they're not being systemically killed, because we don't know what the numbers are coming out of there. There has been a widespread effort by the Chinese Communist Party to, they talk about re-education, and it's called, there's this term called ethnocide, in which you kill the culture, but you keep the people. And that is something where, maybe the Uyghurs are going through that. Either way, horrible, unacceptable, should be condemned. And it's really sad that American corporations don't want to stand up for human rights. And we could talk about this for hours, and we can get really heated about it. And I think the one thing I'm really pissed off about is that everybody is not focusing on it. Like, they just can't see the evil that stares them right in the fucking face. And they all think, oh, Trump is so evil. Like, he's putting kids in, he's separating kids from their families. Like, all right, first of all, like, that this is like 2-year-old shit we're talking here.
Not 2-year-old, 8-year-old, like 10-year-old shit, like fucking 12-year-old shit from Obama industry.
Yeah, but like I'm just saying, like the last time that it was ever covered was in 2018, and that's at least 2 years old. So like these people are just like, oh god,
right?
I hate it.
And
It's so disingenuous to say that they care about, you know, human rights and human decency and just like how people's lives matter when they just don't give a fuck about the Uyghurs. And it's not me being a Muslim and me being religiously linked to them, is the fact that they just don't give a shit.
Right.
And it drives me up the fucking wall.
Right. It's so maddening. It really is, because they want to come in here and say that Trump is going to kill all these black people, that Trump is going to put all these gays in camps, that Trump is going to do all this kind of stuff, while they don't give a flying fuck about the Uyghurs being put into re-education camps. Yeah. And it's not re-education or any of these kind of stuff, because these were the excuses put in place by the Nazis, and that we just accepted. We just accepted that shit for the longest time until we decided to go into the war of it.
Yeah.
And I it's sad. It's so sad, because we have so much more power to be able to stop this than we're willing to put. But Nike is like, oh, we care about black people, so we're gonna put this fuck who kneels on the flag, who can't throw a fucking, fucking football on our face, and say that he's the representative of Nike, while we put these Muslims into fucking camps to make the Nike shoes that you're gonna buy. It's like, fuck you. You don't give a shit. You don't care about racial equality. You don't care about these people being literally fucking killed to make your product so you can sell it to the other people. You don't care. You don't give a shit.
Yeah. Nate Beebe, this is definitely the most serious Habibi Power Hour so far. All right, we're gonna switch gears, because that got way too serious, and we like everyone.
I can't get enough about it, because like you, I have family who are Muslim and stuff, and to be like that, it's hard.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it would be a disservice to I think to our audience, to the Habibis, if we didn't say anything about it, because the world isn't all like, roses and sunshine and rainbows. Like, this is real shit that's happening right now. And if people aren't going to cover it, fucking we will. So,
right.
We're just, if you want to stick along for the ride, we greatly appreciate it. If you want to hop off now, we'll miss you, but we're going to continue to say what we want to say. And, let's just let's move on to something more lighthearted. Ghislaine Maxwell. So Katie Hill comes out with a tweet, which, by the way, more credit to her, says anybody who doesn't say Ghislaine Maxwell has to be like lying to themselves. I don't know the exact tweet, but she said Ghislaine. I'm like, that's Jay right there. Jay saying Ghislaine. So
well, not only that, she would know where the Ghislaine is, to be honest.
Oh man, Sarah Jacobs. No such thing as too serious when genocide is going on. Thank you, Sarah Jacobs, for that. But yeah, I put it in the promo, whether it's Ghislaine or Ghislaine. I think I can't recall who made this point. I want to say it was LB. I think it was Carolina Court who said, when you are if you are accused of being involved in a child sex trafficking ring, you don't get to make the rules about how your name is pronounced. It's Ghislaine from now on.
100%. That's how I'm going to say it.
It's essentially Ghislaine. But the crazy thing here is that Trump, at his coronavirus briefing, fucking wished her well.
Oh my God.
He was asked by, I believe it was Stephen Nelson of the New York Post, because I know I worked with him, and I recognize his voice in asking the question, even though he wasn't on camera. he was just like, I don't really know what's going on, but I wish her well though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you might want to revise that. Might want to like look into that shit. Maybe you want to watch, Jeffrey Epstein Filthy Rich on Netflix. I don't think he'd ever would. I'm sure his imagery would show up in that. But like, why can't you just say, I don't know anything about it, and I can't comment on it because I don't know anything that's going on. Okay, yeah. I'm too busy steering this country out of a fucking pandemic to give a shit about Ghislaine Maxwell.
Right. No, it's so funny because that's where he puts himself all the time, because he's just saying some random shit. And I honestly think he's just saying that shit to move on and push it over and stuff.
But he creates his own goddamn news cycle by doing this. It's just like he shoots himself in the. He must love it, because it doesn't make any sense to wish. Like, under no circumstances do you have to wish Ghislaine Maxwell well. This is that drill ISIS post. Issuing a correction about a previous tweet of mine. Under no circumstances you gotta wish ISIS. You gotta hand it to him.
Well, you gotta hand ISIS to him. Oh fuck. It's so
all
funny.
Right. Real quick, we'll get a couple more stories and then we'll hear from some Habibis and then sign off for the night. One interesting Twitter news. So last week, Twitter shut down every blue check, me included, except for you piece of shit.
Well, I'm not a blue check, and I've been taken off like 12 or 13.
I'm amazed. I mean,
I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
I gotta go piss. I drank the whole bottle. Give me a second, bro.
All right, I'm gonna hear from some Habibis. This piece of shit, Ernie. Let's go chat. Let's chat with some Habibis. All right. Let's see. You can fucking hear him on the stream. He's streaming on the stream.
I'm going hard, bro.
Janice, Jay drank a bottle of booze. Where do you think he's going? Of course I know where he's going. Oh, man. What did Ern have for a second dinner? Actually, Ern and I are going to have second dinner after this. I haven't had my first dinner. It is 11:30 here, and I've been going ham all day. Let's see. Did you give Mitch tips on how to wear the tan suit? If he got tips from me, it would have been to not wear fucking black shoes, Janak, and black socks. Where the fuck did those come from? Simply Wonderful asks, what happened with the blue checks? I was on vacay. So Twitter had a hack with some hackers basically busted into all these big accounts like Bill Gates and Joe Biden. Well, I don't know Joe Biden. I did see a joke on Twitter how Joe Biden actually wasn't hacked, but he posted a tweet that was in line with all the hackers just so that he could say he fit in. That's pretty good. But all of the blue checks were banned, or they were barred from tweeting. We could retweet, but they were trying to address a hack in which, like, Kanye West, Bill Gates, Joe Biden, all these other blue check accounts were posting the same tweet, and it was about Bitcoin and like giving money away. So that was that. I think it only lasted a few hours. Fuzzy says, Siraj, have grown-up pants on this week? Fuzzy?
Stand up. Let's see what they are. Let's see what they are. Stand the fuck up.
But if I stand up, I'm going to just have to... I probably shouldn't say it. I'm still employed. Hold on. They're pants, okay?
Oh, God damn it. I was hoping it was the thong I gave you.
Ernie, sit, bud. There you go, bud. There you go. All right, we're slowly moving along here.
We have to go on to.
Hold on. Will Long says, "Hey Jay, we could all hear you, Pete. Just letting you know, brother. Thank you, Will." And
thank you. I mean, I drank half a bottle.
Why did you fucking close the door like a normal person?
Because I wanted you guys to hear how long my shoe was.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Jan is making fun of me now. Skinny pants, gay incel, live to the core. These are just fitted, okay? I don't miss leg day. Wow.
Exactly. He's just pretty skinny on the legs.
I'm skinny. Oh.
That's the way it is. But
Okay.
I mean, we do have to address the
well, I just want to
QAnon
say
thing.
yeah, I was just about to get into it, you piece of shit. Twitter said Tuesday evening that it had removed thousands of accounts that spread messages about the conspiracy theories known as QAnon.
QAnon.
QAnus. I'm surprised no one made the QAnus joke. Has anyone made that? That seems like very juvenile, but a joke that I would definitely make. Saying their messages could lead to harm and violated Twitter policy. Twitter said it would also block trends related to the loose network of QAnon conspiracy theories from appearing in its trending topics in search. It would not allow users to post links affiliated with the theories on its platform. And it's the first time they ever took this sweeping action. I want to say, though, was it in relation to Chrissy Teigen getting a bunch of threats from QAnon people?
100%.
Essentially.
It was those what's it called? Pizza emojis going to them.
Oh, was that it?
You can you can see that these privileged fucks get extra special care because they wanted to say that it was going to consider to offline hate and all this kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
What about Antifa that are doxing police officers online and stuff like that? They won't go after them. They wouldn't do it. The reason why is because they get these celebrities to stay on their fucking platform, and that's what they're doing. And they're going to slowly and surely cut off criticisms and all that kind of stuff. Now, all the celebrity has to do is be like, oh, this fucking person that's saying I'm shit is a QAnon. Please delete him.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, and I think, and Billy Finn brings up this point, they're so inconsistent on what constitutes offline harm. Sean King is still on after encouraging church burnings and the Ayatollahs threatening attacks. You also got Louis Farrakhan, who never shuts the fuck up about his anti-Semitic rhetoric. And, I mean, you have plenty of people who constantly dox others and nothing happens to them. I will say this. There was this is one account that I got blocked by. I don't know if you were blocked by them. What was it? Ashley Ray Groipenberg?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think her last name is actually Goldenberg, but she got banned outright. And she sucks a lot.
No,
like she's just straight up like racist, white supremacist. What's that say?
My mom,
what?
She texted me asking me, did I wash my hands? And I was like, Mom, yes, I did. Of course I did.
I didn't hear that stream.
You heard my stream of piss, right?
Did you wash your hands?
I used that as my I wash my hands with soap. If it was water or piss, you'll never know.
I always think about you ever seen the movie Dodgeball?
Yeah. I
love Rip Torn. The late Rip Torn. Shout outs to him. Rest in peace, Rip Torn. I never forget this quote. He's like, "Do I have to drink my own urine? No, but it's sterile and I like the taste."
It's too good.
Okay. I don't know if we beat to death the QAnon thing, but it's there is definitely a lot of double standards happening right now, and as much as people want to talk about how Twitter is doing all they can to block out hate, like this is just one of those things where they need to pick up the pace and get a little consistency, because there's not really.
There's never going to be consistency on it.
No, I know there's never going to be consistency, but they could at least, pretend like they give a shit. But even then, we probably could see through that facade.
Right.
Finally, we're getting to the end of the night here. The Lincoln Project. Okay. These guys the founders, it was reported in the New York Post this week that the founders of the Lincoln Project a headline-grabbing anti-Trump political action committee formed by GOP operatives who described the president as a crook and huckster have their own checkered dealings with Russia and the taxman, documents obtained by the Post reveal. Interestingly enough, some of those dealings relate to John Kasich's former political consultant, John Weaver, who is registered as a Russian foreign agent. It's got, things about Rick Wilson being, like $500,000 debt. He is
at like 400,000, 300.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the exact number. It's something around there. It's at least hundreds. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and they're just raking in a bunch of Democratic resistance money. And the shit's working. Like, it's just like no one's batting an eye except for anyone who actually has an idea who these people are and how they operate. And you have Steve Schmidt basically smearing the reporter Ebony Bowden about her reporting over it, saying that he didn't vote in 2016 or 2018 or something like that, or he did mail in. I can't recall exactly what it was, but yeah, I mean, like, they are we talk about cancel culture and how, like, it's vicious but it's organic. Like, this is vicious and it's organized. Like, these people will destroy you if given the opportunity, and even criticizing them makes you a target.
Right. And they're such grifting garbage. Like, there's no bigger trash out there than Steve and Rick Wilson. None.
And there even really fucking George Conway is a part of it.
Well, George Conway, he is just so, like, he is a man with such the smallest dick because he is so fucking hurt that his wife is so much better than him to be able to get into the administration. So much. And he is hurt by that because he has such a tiny little fucking dick and he's a piece of fucking shit. Him, Rick Wilson, and Steve. Anyone who is associated with the Lincoln Project are out there sucking Chinese dick, and they're out there pretending like there's some fucking resistance against tyranny. They are what Lincoln really wanted and all this kind of stuff. It is just garbage.
It's truly a disgrace to Lincoln's legacy to name something after him and just be all of them just gigantic pieces of shit. I mean, they are simply the worst kinds of people. And I actually recognize a few people on the left, like Emma Vigeland from the Young Turks. She's a pretty big progressive, very nice girl. Had her on the podcast for Hashing It Out a few months ago, and big Bernie supporter. And I probably disagree with her on like 90% of the stuff, but she made a great point about how everybody's missing the Lincoln Project for who they are, and that these are people who, during the time of the Obama administration, like, pledged to make him a one-term president, or they would simply smear every single Democrat. And then all of a sudden, because they're opposed to Trump, they've just been embraced with open arms by the Democratic Party, and will just funnel millions of dollars in cash to them and suckle on that teat. So it's just, it's pretty bad. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, Charlie Kirk or Jacob Wohl, like those type of grifters, they would rightly be called out in any other universe.
Right.
And just because they're opposing Trump, they're getting TV, glitzy TV spots for their ads. They're getting interviewed on like late night TV,
MSNBC.
Yeah, it's just like, it just becomes a circle jerk. And I honestly, I don't understand how they just let it happen. And it kind of eats away at whatever hope you had that people would not act like pieces of shit. So
no, and And you're
essentially
right. 100%. I have nothing else to drink or shot on
or to
because
add
I
to
finished
that.
that bottle. Right. And the Lincoln Project is just that organization that is totally just grifting on the fucking dumbassness of Democrats thinking that they are on their side. When just like just like before Trump, you have Rick Wilson sitting with the cooler with the Confederate flag.
Confederate flag,
when
yeah.
you have all these people and Max Boot and Ruben.
Oh yeah, Max Boot. Holy shit. What was the Max Boot column? Hold on, let me pull this shit
saying
up.
like how
Yeah,
Lincoln
Max
Project
Boot's column. This is Max Boot's column. This is beautiful. Get ready for it. The Lincoln Project understands that Trump's enablers must pay a price. Get the fuck out of here, Max Boot. Like, this is, I will give Max Boot credit. This is the only time he's written on something that is only slightly different than saying Trump bad or Orange Man bad.
Right. And they have to understand that Max Boot, Ruben, Rick Wilson, all these people are only here to take your money. George Connolly as well. That's all what they are. And it's so fucking hilarious to me to watch liberals and people just be like sucking their dick like there's some fucking special like people that have the insight on what is the Republican Party and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even Tim Miller, whatever the fuck his name is, who was Jeb's
Deb's campaign guy or something like that. I can't recall exactly
whatever the fuck he is. All these people can suck my dick 100% of the time because they are. I see through them. They're nothing but grifters. They are not believing anything that they ever stood for. They have no principles. The only thing they want to do is take your money. Has Rick Wilson produced any movie when he stole that $65,000 to make a movie against Trump and or any of that stuff? No, he hasn't. All he's doing is taking your money, going and drinking some shit, and then going to be like tweeting something like, "Oh, Nikki Haley is a bitch."
Yeah, he's just like he's a very maladjusted individual. I pray that they see the light and stop doing that shit. Anyways, let's end our night with hearing from some Habibis and let those comments, questions file in. Billy Finn and Cox, what's up? George Connolly, you pronounced George Connolly, which was pretty great. I like that.
I liked it too.
Boris Faraj, thank you for waking up early enough in the
in
the UK to watch and listen. Ernest tired of all of our shit right now. This is absolutely true. Let's see. Oh, and I'm Matthew Wallace. Cenk denies the genocide. That's Cenk Uyghur.
No.
He sucks.
Young Turks.
Young Turks. He sucks.
Brown fucking piece.
We don't like. We're not fans of Cenk, but Emma Vigeland. She's actually a very nice girl, and I don't know what she actually publicly disagrees with Cenk a lot, and I give her credit. I give her credit for that.
You do. I mean, like every news organization, as long as you're able to disagree publicly with
because I remember the specific
it's important.
The specific disagreement that they had was that I guess whenever like a Democratic president is elected, that they should withhold aid from Republican states simply on the basis that they're held by Republicans. And Emma pushed back saying like, no, don't fucking do that at all, because that's
right.
One, it's horrible policy because it shows that you don't care about the lives of Americans, and you only look through the lens of political party. And I give her tip my hat to her for that shit.
No, really, it's great. No, she doesn't.
Let's see. Andrew Maloney, will NBA eventually pay for sucking China's D? I don't see it ever happening. I hate.
Unfortunately.
I hope. I wish. I don't know when, but I don't think we'll ever
I
see.
hope we see something because LeBron James is shit as fuck. The NBA is shit as fuck right now. They don't have anyone who's anywhere at the league or the level of Michael Jordan. And honestly, I can't watch a game for shit because everyone in it and everyone who runs it is sucking commie dick, and I don't want to be a part of it.
Janok Legion says there's a really long line of people who need to suck Jay's dick. Oh my god. Fuzzy. Jay, how close are you to falling out of your chair? I know your feet aren't touching the floor.
Don't worry, Fuzzy. Your mom is right under here helping me.
He's sitting on her right now. Bean Dude, Nate Beebe coming through with, will the merch be out by Labor Day? We're hoping. We're in discussions right now trying to find different vendors. We'll let you know when we get an update. Jay and I will talk this week about it, and hopefully we'll get something up. It's I will say I've had a lot of fun doing this. It's a nice break from sort of the monotony of my day job and also from Twitter, because let's be real, Twitter is a bit of a time suck and also happens to really eat at your sanity. And I feel like my sanity is slightly restored every time we do this. So I really appreciate all the Habibis tuning in weekly for this. I feel, we're part of the it's a new journey, and I feel like we've been doing it for a while, but I also still feel like it's still at the beginning. So people asking, so Earn Plate is not part of the merch, but I'm sure we could discuss something. Janice comes through with the Earn hoodies. Thinking on the level of Earn being a part of everything, because
he's probably going to be a bestseller. Like,
it's gonna be in, but we're gonna we don't want to like release everything all at once, because we feel like we don't want to give you too many options, because this is Sharia, not a democracy. Okay, let's see what else we got. Sarah Jacobs, you guys are the new face of Islam in this country. That'd be wild if we were.
Right.
Because Jay only talks about eating ass, and I only talk about being a gay incel lib.
Right. That would be insane if that's what new Islam was in this country. Oh man.
I mean, I guess it's better. I guess it's better than talking about terrorism 24/7.
Or Louis Farrakhan or some shit.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah. But let's see if any of the other Habibis coming through. Boris coming through. I've got some Jay ass eating memes coming up. Hell yeah.
I mean, I give a lot of yeah.
It's definitely wonderful. You guys make Twitter fun. Thank you. We hope, it's weird because we oftentimes it's all organic. It's never like designed to think of, I mean, like, I just do it because I like doing it. Yeah. I never think about like what's going to get me the most retweets and likes. I don't think of it like Charlie Kirk, because all he does is he's just a grifting piece of shit. So
like Charlie Kirk Blakely and Candace Owens and stuff, they remind me of people on the fucking what's it called, Lincoln Project and shit. The same fucking coin.
Yeah. Matt Blakely asks, anything about Kanye, or are we giving him the silence he probably needs? Yeah, when Jay and I were talking about it, we both love Kanye. I love Kanye. I don't know if you love Kanye, but either way, we want the best for him.
One song, Gold Digger. Yeah, right. That's one song I know. But
we want to give him the space that he needs. We don't know what he's going through. And Kim Kardashian addressed it earlier today on an Instagram post or Instagram story about him having bipolar disorder. And we as much, his presidential run is besides the point. Like, there's no point in analyzing it, because this is a man who's going through something, and if he's tweeting out stuff, I don't want to put him on the list because I don't want people to misconstrue me making fun of him for going through something. And I feel like we should at least give the man his space and let him figure out what it is he needs to figure out. And as much as funny as it was in the beginning, I think once we hit the rally and he was crying, and I think probably long before that, it stopped being funny because I mean, if a man is having a public breakdown, are you going to point and laugh? Or are you going to like try to provide him some support? And I think it's very honorable and noble for someone like Dave Chappelle to fly halfway across the country to go see his friend and make sure he's good. Like I really hope. I hope to be that friend to someone. Like if Jay's going through something, like if he's going through a drought of eating ass and really eat, I will fly. I will fly to California and make sure he secures an ass to eat because I care about my boy. And what's even better is Jay and I have only met in real life once. And I consider this man a brother of mine. So
I love you, Habibi.
Love you, Habibi. So we're gonna end it on that high note. I think tonight we had a dose of we had some humor, we had some serious stuff, and I'm glad we got a chance to. I know we basically abandoned the whole idea of doing it 69 minutes, but I'm okay with that.
Me too.
If people are happy with us doing this longer, I'm perfectly fine with
especially when we have guests too.
Yeah, that too. But we didn't have a guest this time. It was just all us. Because when we have a guest, we don't actually have we don't have to speak as much, obviously. And, it only seems natural to go longer when you have a guest. You want to make it worth their while. So, Habibis, y'all been great. Y'all been swell. Ernie, Jabibi, and I, we're gonna end it on a raging jihad.
أنا بحبكم يا حبيبيs.
Yalla Habibi. Oh, Ernie's trying to fall asleep in my lap. Here, let me.
Also, Faye, have a good Jew fast. That's what she said. She's going through. She's not going to be here next week.
Okay. So, well, catch the replay. We'll be thinking about you. Shout out to Carlos. He couldn't make it. He's currently, I think, going on a family trip or some shit like that. He oftentimes provides a lot of good puns, and we missed him tonight. And then shout outs to all the Habibis who make us memes: Boris, Fuzzy, Cox, Prison Mitch. You guys are great. And anyone else that we're forgetting, we apologize, but y'all been swell. Take it easy, Habibis. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you on the Twitters.
Habibkum.